You know, for millions of people, it all started with a simple question. A curiosity about where they came from, a desire to understand their health, to maybe peek at the invisible code that makes them, well, them. They spit in a tube, mailed it off, and in return, they got a key to their own biology. But what happens when the company holding that key suddenly goes bankrupt? And then you see a comment like this buried deep in an online forum, and it just captures the entire human side of this story. This isn't about ones and zeros or abstract data. It's about our moms, our families. It's about the trust we placed in a company that promised to unlock our deepest secrets. For so many, this news hit incredibly close to home. And then the bombshell dropped. In early 2025, 23andMe, the absolute giant of consumer genetics, filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. The promise of a genomics revolution, it seems, had just come to a screeching halt. That announcement sent an immediate shockwave across social media. I mean, on places like Reddit, threads just exploded. You had this chaotic mix of panic, total confusion, and just raw anger from millions of customers. The trust that had been so carefully built, one DNA kit at a time, it felt like it just evaporated overnight. And when you cut through all the noise online, one central fear united almost everyone. It was a question that gets to the very core of what they had given up. What is going to happen to my DNA now? The bankruptcy filing raised the ultimate nightmare scenario. See, under Chapter 11, a company's assets, everything it owns, can be sold off to pay its debts. And all of a sudden, people were forced to confront this horrifying possibility. Their genetic code, the most personal data you can possibly imagine, could be bundled up and sold to the highest bidder. The speculation just ran wild. It started with the things you could totally see happening. Could insurance companies buy this data to deny you coverage? Could a future employer use it to screen you out? But then the worries spiraled into much more dystopian territory. What about shadowy data brokers, or the really chilling idea of targeted bioweapons? But you know, not everyone was panicking. For every one of those worried comments, there was another one that was just deeply skeptical. Some users felt the fears were way overblown, basically arguing that our data is already everywhere, and the idea of someone weaponizing their DNA was, well, laughable. So you had these two camps form almost instantly. On one side, you had people saying, look, this might sound like a conspiracy theory, but the point is, you're giving bad actors the keys to the kingdom. And on the other side, you had people saying, everyone needs to calm down. This is just an irrational panic from people who haven't even read the fine print. For a lot of the longtime customers, though, this bankruptcy wasn't a total shock. It actually felt more like the inevitable end to a long story of slowly eroding trust. A story that really started way before the company's finances hit the wall. The real turning point for so many was the huge data breach back in 2023. Hackers got their hands on the data of nearly 7 million users, but it was the company's response to the breach that really shattered the trust of its community. And that, right there, set the stage for the final collapse we're seeing now. So the company and a lot of its more tech-savvy users, they argued this wasn't a traditional hack. They called it credential stuffing, where attackers just used passwords that were already leaked from other websites to get into 23andMe accounts. From that point of view, the blame was on users for having bad passwords, not on the company's security. Yeah, but that argument just didn't sit right with a lot of people. Their counter-argument was powerful. They felt a company holding data this incredibly sensitive had a much higher duty of care. They argued security features like two-factor authentication should have been mandatory from day one. To them, blaming the customer felt like a complete betrayal. So, with trust totally gone and the fear of a bankruptcy sale hanging over their heads, a predictable wave of panic began. Thousands upon thousands of users rushed to the 23andMe website and app, all trying to do the one thing they felt they still had control over: delete their data and cut ties with the company for good. And on paper, the company offered a simple way out, a 4-step deletion process. It was supposed to be a clean break, a way for users to take back their data with just a few clicks. But that clean break, it never came. As all these users flooded the system, what was supposed to be a straightforward process just completely descended into digital chaos. The reports from users painted this picture of a total system meltdown. The app won't load, I'm not getting the two-factor code. One person even said, I tried downloading my data first and they banned my IP address. All people were getting were error messages. And then the classic, site is temporarily down for an update. It felt less like a process and more like a trap. And here's where the problem gets so much deeper. Even if that deletion process had worked perfectly, this user points out a critical flaw. For the estimated 80% of customers who agreed to share their data for research, it was already too late. That data doesn't just live on 23andMe's servers. It's been shared, anonymized, and woven into countless other research databases. This realization led to the ultimate fear finally bubbling up in these discussions. It wasn't just about a company going bankrupt or a data breach anymore. It was about the fundamental, irreversible nature of what they had given away. This brings us to a concept called genetic exceptionalism. And the idea is pretty simple. Your DNA isn't just another data point like your email or your shopping habits. It is fundamentally different. It's unchangeable, it's deeply personal, and this is the crucial part, it reveals information not just about you, but about your entire family. And this user just says it perfectly. The decision to share your DNA isn't a decision you make for yourself alone. It's a decision you're also making for your children, your grandchildren, and relatives you haven't even met. All of them, without their consent. Think about it. You can change your name, you can change your address, you can reset every single password you have, but you cannot reset your DNA. Once that code is out in the world, it is out there forever. And that leaves us with the final, unsettling question at the very heart of the 23andMe collapse. In an age where we share everything so freely, we've now come face to face with the one piece of information that is truly permanent. And as millions are now discovering, once you give it away, you might never, ever be able to take it back.